What is that?
Grunt, we've located the central chamber.
Good. We got your back, Shepard.
Move it! Damn it!
Where's the switch?
Mass Effect 3 walkthrough on Insanity. Now, there's going to be two sections to this. It's going to be after you destroy, or before you destroy the barrier thing, and after. So there's going to be a lot of enemies that are going to rush you. There's going to be one Ravager. Luckily, he's in a pretty dodgeable spot. You got this huge pillar here to sit behind while Garrus and James take him on. And hopefully you have some left of your flamethrower. You won't need it anymore, so go ahead and use it all up. Just tell your squad mates to take on the Ravager. It's better that you let them do that because they can sustain a lot more of the damage. Also, it won't really do much to them. Now, when it gets to the point where there are multiple Ravagers, then it'll start doing a good chunk of damage, and I think in one of the fights James goes down. But just make sure that you're telling them to attack the Ravagers. You need to be careful sometimes because they will... Oh yeah, watch out for the cannibals. They will disregard their own health and safety and simply just like run out into the open. But just make sure that their skills are always down because they do have a pretty decent recharge on their concussive and Garrus's overload / all his other abilities. And make sure you're using James's grenades. Actually, all the characters with grenades. I think James is the only one that I have right now that can use them. But he'll just like stack up grenades during missions, and they're always nice to use up. So make sure you're using those. And of course, make sure that they're taking shots at that. I really should have pushed forward to activate something else, but not a lot I could have done. And really, don't forget about like stuff like armor-piercing ammunition, which I think I start using in one of the upcoming missions. But I did not remember that I actually had it. Even though it's only 1 point in it, I think I might start putting a few more in. What I really like to do during these is to just focus my upgrade points into one specific ammo type. I think that once you start going into multiples, it's kind of redundant, especially for Vanguard, because you have ice ammo and fire ammo, which I think might complement each other. I'm not totally sure. I didn't really care enough to ever look into it. So coming up here is just going to be more of the Ravagers. And what I do is I pretty much stay out of their line of sight and deal with everything else first. Also, there's a barrier generator, which I really should have taken out earlier than I did. You're going to see me do that in a little bit, but you know, everything has a barrier on it, which is not fun to deal with. And I think I almost die here. Yep, living. So you got to be really careful with this spot right here if you're going to go up on the high ground, because there's no real safe way. I mean, I guess you could go from cover to cover if you're on the low ground, but because of what happened up on the high ground, I didn't really have much of a chance to go up there and destroy the barrier generator, so I was pretty much fighting against it for a long time there. So I took out most of everything, and luckily that cannibal did not notice me for some reason. But I think I go back up here and order my squad mates to destroy the barrier generator. And of course, Ravager's focusing me and taking my barrier down in one shot. So there, I ordered them to destroy the barrier generator. That really should have done that earlier. Would have made this fight right here probably a bit easier. So just tell them to destroy that last Ravager. And then we got one more section coming up here. And I think there's one more flamethrower. Yep, you get one more flamethrower. Order those guys to blow it up. And then the final battle, there's going to be 2 Ravagers here. So order James to use up all his grenades. And this little area, this cove right here, is really nice because there's pretty much nothing that can attack you from this spot unless they want to come up and face you in melee range. Unfortunately, the flamethrower doesn't have that much of a distance on it. So I'm just going to be sitting right here. They're going to throw grenades at me. And all this time I've been telling James and Garrus to focus on a Ravager, which is, there's a Ravager focusing me right now. And these guys are just going to kind of sit it out. And just kind of jump in and out of right here. There's pretty much no way for them to rush you. And if they do, then they're just going to get destroyed. And I think that one of the Ravagers was particularly low. And right there, I think James jumped out in front, so you need to watch these guys. They're going to kind of try and Rambo it. But, yeah, these guys should go down pretty quickly. So now both of the Ravagers are down. And now it's just mopping up everything. Don't be afraid to use up some of your Metagel, just for yourself, because you do not want to die. Kind of stating the obvious, but don't be afraid to use it. There's nothing, especially with the way that I've leveled up James and Garrus, is that they are max points into their passive abilities, like their health, their damage, all that stuff. So they're pretty difficult to take down. So I can afford to use most of my Metagel on myself, which is what I